We want to encourage people to have that power, to own that power, to be empowered. That term is agency. You're the only expert on your life. You know what's best for you, and you have to ultimately make the decision and live with that decision. The first thing you can do with your agency is to decide to reach out for help. That can be the hardest thing to do. You just have to be brave enough to admit that you might need help and to reach out for that help.
You have agency, you have control, you have things you can do.
Agency isn't necessarily always about starting something, but it's about stopping it if it's not working.
Quitting isn't always quitting. Sometimes quitting is pivoting.
I would go into my therapist's office and I wouldn't know what to say. I'd sit there in silence. There's these long stretches of literally minutes where no one is saying anything. There's another word for this, alexithymia. It's this inability to know how you're feeling and put words to it. If you are struggling with therapy, go to your therapist and say, this isn't working for me, or let's just have that meta conversation about what therapy could be.
I love this idea of beginner's mind coming in and saying, I don't know. That's vulnerability, which can feel a little scary. Saying, I don't understand how this works, or can you help me a little bit to know how to share more?
Don't be afraid to take the lead. Say, hey, I'd love to give you some feedback on how a session went. Most therapists are open to that. The only way you're going to get what you need is to speak up. It's not magic. It's straightforward. It's not easy necessarily to do these things, but there are steps. If you can have an honest conversation about who you are, how you are in the world, how you are in relationships, that's the way you start to have awareness around it and make changes and improve it. Getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Back to alexithymia, I used to feel like there's good emotions and there's bad emotions. We want to maximize the good ones and minimize the bad ones. You really want to embrace all the emotions as they come up. There's no way to not feel uncomfortable doing this work, but that just means you're doing it right.